Fancy Legends up first. He says, do you know of any good vendors for blog content where you can use to keep our clients' sites updated? I mean, hiring somebody in-house is your best bet, and training, hiring somebody, it doesn't have to be like an actual, W-2 employee or whatever. It could be an outsourcer, a virtual assistant. But I would recommend investing in a good tool that produces content, and then hiring somebody and having, like, even if you hire them and for the first month you just pay them just to learn how to use the tool. I'm serious. Or pick up a tool that you like, a good writing tool. I'm telling you, my favorite tool right now, and I did a post about this in the mastermind just earlier today. By far, hands down, my favorite tool right now is On-Page AI. And this is not an affiliate. He didn't even have an affiliate program. Trust me, I've looked. He doesn't have an affiliate program for this, but this is my favorite tool for SEO right now. It's fabulous. It does outline building. It has AI writing assistant built into it. It has the reason why I fell in love with this tool had nothing to do with the on-page factors, even though it's called on-page, because I've been using a lot of other on-page tools, Outranking, Surfer, Inlinks.net, a bunch of different tools that I use for on-page optimization and for content. But I fell in love with this tool because of its backlink analysis properties, the link relevancy tool, and what they call predictive guest posts. But since I bought this tool or subscribed to this tool when he first launched it, he's added a bunch of new features to it, and the AI writing assistant is really, really good in this now. And so anyways, it's expensive. It's definitely an expensive tool, but this is a really good tool. And Eric Lanchera is the developer. Where the hell is his picture? He was on here somewhere. There he is. I've been following him since like 2012 or 13, somewhere around that time frame. Long time. I really respect Eric. He's been kind of a mentor of mine for many years. And so I really, really like this tool. This has become my favorite SEO tool in the last couple of months. So I would encourage you, Fancy Legend, I would encourage you to find a tool like that. It doesn't have to be that one, but just find. The important thing is, like, for another one, Jasper. I use Jasper. Like, I got Jasper open right there, and I use Jasper all the time. My link building team uses Jasper a lot too. It's great. It's a great tool. The only thing is Jasper doesn't. The important, and I've talked about this a lot recently because this question comes up a lot about content and things like that. But Jasper is a really good tool if you can guide it appropriately. And that's the trick with Jasper is you have to kind of set guardrails to confine it within specific parameters, or else the GPT-3 will go off on a tangent and spit out all kinds of like non-relevant shit. And like, it's great if you know how to use it. Okay. So the trick with Jasper is to develop have a really well-developed outline, a really clearly defined outline with a hierarchy in place, like H2s, H3s. H2s are big main sections within content. H3s are supporting subheadings of the H2s, for example. So just kind of developing out an outline first, and then pasting that outline into Jasper, and then using that. You still kind of have to use the asterisk to kind of like tell it. This is not a tutorial on Jasper, guys, so I don't want to get too far into the weeds. But all I'm saying is if you have a really well-developed outline and you constantly update the commands to Jasper, you can get really good. Like, my link building team is very, very proficient with Jasper. We use it a lot. But me personally, when I have to develop content, I like to use either outranking.io, or more recently, I've started using this a lot more. Again, originally for months, all I used this for was this link relevancy tool and what's called predictive guest post, because it integrates with Google's NLP API, so the natural language processor API. And it tells you can scan content or backlink profiles, and it will tell you what the Google's NLP categories are that it has determined. So if we open this image in a new tab, these are Google's NLP categories. Like, these are the categories that Google NLP has determined are present on this page, for example. Does that make sense? And so I've been able to learn how to tune content to be 100% relevant in the same topical category that Google's NLP has determined, which by the way, are very, very closely aligned to Majestic's topical trust flow categories. They're not the same. There are some nuanced differences, right? Some slight differences between topical trust flow categories and Majestic and Google's NLP categories, but they're very, very close, very similar. So that's why, again, part of the reason why I have abandoned all other SEO analysis or backlink analysis tools, and all I use is Majestic now for that. Because again, it's all about topical relevance, and topical trust flow is very closely aligned with Google's NLP categories. So that's what I base all of my research and all of my methods on now. Okay. And all of that, I owe Eric credit for that, because if it wouldn't have been for him launching this tool, I probably eventually would have discovered it, but this was really what seeded the idea for semantic links, was this tool right here, because of this, the link relevancy tool, and because of predictive guest posts. So I built an entire business based off of the teaching of Eric from this tool, from him launching this tool. No kidding. So I love this tool. I think it's a great tool. And I would encourage you to find something like this, whether it's this one or another one. Like I said before, another really good tool that is very, very powerful for developing well-tuned SEO content is outranking.io. Again, very expensive. The good tools are expensive, guys. I know you can go to AppSumo and get a bunch of deals, and sometimes they work out. It seems like every week, multiple new apps are coming out that do AI writing. The problem is a lot of those haven't been developed far enough to where it's still going to require a lot of work on your end, and there can be bugs, and sometimes those platforms go under. Don't get me wrong. It's not, I invest in AppSumo deals all the time. I've got AppSumo open up in my browser right now. I just spent another $600 on AppSumo last night. No kidding. So I spend a ton of money on AppSumo. Don't get me wrong. But when you're talking about the question that was posted here about content vendors for your own agency, I think the best way to do it is to hire a VA and train them how to use a tool. Just pick one. And one of the tools that are more further developed, like Outranking or like OnPage, they have comparable pricing. They're both expensive, but they're such good tools. You can do all of your content needs in one of these two tools. Again, there's other ones out there, guys. I'm just pointing out the two that are my favorite. Okay. And then I've talked about WriterZen too. WriterZen is really good for outlines and topic research and keyword research. My favorite keyword tool is part of WriterZen. So this has got a really good topic and keyword research, and then it also can do outlines. My point is just pick one that is more further developed. If you want an all-in-one tool, again, OnPage AI or Outranking would be my two preferred tools, the ones that I would recommend the most. Okay. And then learn it yourself or hire somebody and make that their full-time job for the first 2 weeks or the first whatever, is just like go through training and learn, have them develop, publish. I know that, you have to invest, but if you invest a little bit up front by paying subscribing to a tool like this, that's very powerful, that has everything that you're going to need in one dashboard, and then training somebody, even if you got to pay them for 2 weeks, to do nothing other than to learn how to use the tool, where they don't produce any monetizable content for you for at least, the first 2 weeks. I know that's an investment, but it will pay off, because now you'll have somebody in-house that can produce content for a lot cheaper than hiring content from content farms that also is likely not going to be optimized as well as you want it to anyways. And you end up having to spend time editing the content that you receive from those services anyways. Or you go to a higher end content service and you pay out of the nose, you pay through the nose, you pay a lot of money for that content. I know, because we have we were going to launch a separate content business, but now we're actually pulling that under we were going to launch a done for you content service called Content Kings, which is a higher end content service. But we decided to cancel that as a standalone service and roll that into Semantic SEO, which is our full service white label SEO agency that we're launching next week. So anyway, when I say launching, we're going to be accepting new clients, new subscribers, but we're not actually doing a push on that, at least not yet. But anyways, that's why I'm saying, like, again, I would just encourage you, if you're doing a client work and stuff like that, guys, there's nothing better, in my opinion, more cost effective, and can be generate the highest revenue potential for you than to bring somebody in house and teach them how to use one of these tools, or even if you don't teach them, pay them to learn how to use one of these tools. And now you've got somebody in-house that can produce content on any kind of topic or subject matter, because these types of tools like these two right here can help you develop content even on stuff that you're not a subject matter expert on. And that's my recommendation. You know, it's a little bit more of an investment up front, but in the long term, you will be more profitable. You'll have better quality. If that makes sense. Anyways, that was a good question.